Hello again. Welcome back to Soumya's Chai and Chat. Another episode about Gandhi. Today, I would like to talk about his mother. And there are a few instances that Gandhi shares about his mother in a very loving way and the deep impressions that she left on him. Since October 2nd is Gandhi's birthday, it makes total sense to talk about his mother on this day. Let's get started. We must all have seen people who are deeply religious, especially if you go to India or if you have lived there in India. Many people are still very much religious compared to people in Western part of the world. They are following some aspect of religion on day-to-day basis and add the extra duties or religious practices that they would be following that's been passed down from generations from generations. And Gandhi also talks about his mother, who he says had a saintliness way, and she herself was also extremely religious, where she would do her prayers every single day. And I know my parents, even today, they do not eat anything until they finish their daily prayers. And similarly, I can imagine that even Gandhi's mother was like that. She would not eat her meals until she finished her daily prayers or going to the temple. And those were considered as their everyday duties. If I would like to compare it to today's world, it is almost like having goals, everyday goals. We try to get something done and it changes every day. Maybe it could be workout, or it could be cleaning, organizing, something like that. And imagine going back to 1869, 1870s, where people have this routine of every day going to temple and without eating anything until they went to temple, offered their prayers and came back. And that was one of their everyday practices, everyday routines. It is so beautiful just to think of those times where we didn't have this rushing way of living. It would be more of inward looking, internally cleansing our mind and bodies and doing something for liberation. The everyday suffering when you go to temple, how we forget our pain and everyday negative thinking cycle. It's just full of positivity. And when I read those lines that Gandhi wrote, these were the thoughts that came into my mind. Another instance where Gandhi mentions about his mother's hardcore dedication to what she was doing is about her fasting. There is a season called Chaturmasa, and that is the monsoon rainy season in India. And his mother would keep vows wherein she would fast every alternate days or eat only one meal every single day. And she would keep consecutive 3 to 4 fasting sessions back to back. And Gandhi explains in his book how that was not very easy for her. It was not at all a problem. And one time she had vowed that she would not eat until sun came out, and this is during monsoon and rainy season where clouds are always surrounded, and the kids, him and his brothers, sisters would stand and just watch for the sun to come out, just so that they can announce to their mother and make sure she eats her meals. Gandhi also mentions that his mother, in spite of going through some illnesses, if she ever fell sick during these periods, that was no problem, no time for an excuse to be coming out of fasting phase. Fasting was just taken for as something that she had to do. It was not something she could miss for any reason. And that dedication towards not eating food, fasting, had left a very, very strong and deepest place in Gandhi's both heart and mind about his mother. And in Satyagraha, in non-violence, we know of stories where he would not eat for many days, and we can easily connect to where he got that inspiration from. All his mother, right? Another strong memory that Gandhi shares about his mother is her having very strong common sense. Even though she was not as educated or educated at all, her common sense and intellect could be compared to those of people who were highly educated. Gandhi has very high respect and regard for their parents. He mentions in his book about their dedication and strong will in both of his parents, father and mother, who were modeling the values that embodied in Gandhi himself, which he took it to totally another level later on. And along with his exposure to living in different countries, experiencing different cultures, what he came out with and what was needed at that time for India was what came through him. The non-violence movement to get independence for our country. Now with this, I would like to turn back the attention to my listeners, you all. What is it that you remember from your childhood? What did your parents model? The strongest determination they had about? If you did not have a good childhood, if you had bad parents, that's okay. Who do you remember having an adult who had very strong determination and displayed or modeled the intellect, even though maybe they were not as highly educated or they never went to school? Contemplate on that idea and try to find out how they have inspired you and what are the values that you embody in yourself that was modeled in them. With this, I would like to end today's episode, and I'll come back again with another story about Gandhi and his life and experiments with truth. Take care. See you soon. Hey, before I go, if you have any message for me regarding my episode so far, or if you have any feedback, you can record a message and leave it. I will make sure to listen to it. And if you are loving it, encourage me and want me to keep creating more, clap and let me know. Take care. Bye.